Hi guys, welcome back to the LineStar MLB DFS breakdown for today's slate on May 12th. We got a big slate, 13 games on the works. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our videos as it helps us keep putting out all the free content to you guys. Also, if you're not already, you should probably become a LineStar subscriber. It is only $29.99, gets you access to all of our props, all of our DFS projections, tools, optimizers, all that. And if you don't want to do the $29.99, you can get a little trial. We have a couple promo offers if you're a new customer to FanDuel, Thrive, or Underdog Fantasy. You can get some free DFS time with free LineStar time. Now, let's get into it. Got a kind of a fun one. It is a Coors slate, but it is a Coors slate where not everybody is going to go to Coors. Makes this slate a little more interesting. Got good weather in a lot of places, mainly Boston, which has really bumped up their run total to 10.5, which is similar to the Colorado 11. So it is going to be an interesting game here. We also have the Diamondbacks and Giants, which is a game total of 10. I think there's a lot of different ways you can go on this slate. So let's get started with our pitchers. So highest owned pitcher right now is Corbin Burnes at 43%. This one does kind of surprise me. Burnes just has not been the guy we know him as quite yet this season. Against KC, which is an okay matchup, but KC has been hitting decently lately. They do strike out at 22%, have a decently low WOBA at 300. So I get it if you want to go here. The one thing, though, is Corbin Burnes only a 24% K rate over his last 20, and that's down to 22% over his last 5 starts. So I understand if you want to fade here, and I probably will a decent amount here. I just think that either Garrett Cole or Spencer Strider likely has a much better game, and so it makes sense just to pay the money to get there, especially with Strider, who, look, Strider could be the best pitcher in the game right now. This guy has been absolutely crushing it. He's been putting up DeGrom numbers, 1.29 FIP, 43% K rate over his last 5 starts. And over the last 20, he hasn't been much worse. 1.95 FIP, 39% K rate. This guy is extremely good. So I really do get it if you want to pay a little bit more and just go with Strider. I probably will a little bit, especially if ownership is lower on him. With such a big slate and so many different places you can go hitting wise, you're going to be able to figure out the salary to get him in if you want. Cole, he's versus Tampa Bay, the best team in baseball. He got roughed up against him last time. Still had 6 Ks in 5 innings. His Ks are going to be there. It just depends if he's going to give up 5-6 runs again like he did last time. And I would have to say it's doubtful that he does that again. So I don't mind going there. I do think he's a little expensive, though, going against an offense as good as the Rays. Now, next, if we go down here a little bit, I think there's a couple little pivot points we can go. We got Martin Perez, who his K rate has been down lately over the last 5, only at 13%, but he's normally 19%. But this is a guy that usually works deep into games versus an Oakland offense that isn't that great. However, the Oakland offense is slightly better versus lefties. So I don't mind going Perez. There's also Blake Snell is kind of interesting. He's 8,100. We know there's high K upside. He's actually done pretty well versus the Dodgers in his career. So I think you could go there. And then on the other side of that game, I think you could go to Dustin May. Dustin May is now in the 100 pitch area, every start. So that upside is fully there. He did just have a really good start versus the Padres. It was only a week ago, similar to Snell. So both of these guys the offense they're facing has seen them, twice in 1 week, which you don't necessarily always love, but I think May is in a good spot here. He has got blown up by the Padres before, but he's also had some really big games here. So I like May. 3.7 FIP over his last 5 and last 20, 24% K rate over his last 20. He definitely has the upside for 8,500 where you could go there. Wouldn't go to Wainwright. Wainwright's away. If you followed us last year, I do like Wainwright at home. Away, I stay away from him. This is a guy that away last year had a 4.75 FIP, but then at home it was ERA, but then at home it was under a 3 ERA. So he is just a total different pitcher away, so stay away from him. Another guy, Yuri Perez is not on this slate because he's on the early one. So yeah, there's not, a ton of places to go pitching wise. I think there's plenty of options though, plenty of different ways to get different. And I would be definitely paying up for one of Corbin, Cole, or Strider, I think, and then maybe get a little different with the second pitcher. Now let's check the FanDuel ownership, see what we're at there. Garrett Cole leading the way, Corbin Burns next, and Strider. Now I would absolutely be on Strider over those other two at this ownership. I do like Strider. Martin Perez, I don't know if he has the upside to be your only pitcher on FanDuel. So I don't know if I'd go there. Blake Snell does. Dustin May does. So I think those would be my get different FanDuel picks if I was to go there. Now, let's get into some stack attacks. And taking a second to load here. We'll start with the highest projected own, and that is Philadelphia. It is the Colorado. It's a game in Colorado, but right underneath that is the Cardinals, the game in Boston. Two of the higher game total spots of the week, and also both pitchers are kind of meh, especially Austin Gomber, who is even worse at home than he is away. 5.09 FIP. Giving up over 2 fantasy points per plate attempt. I think you can absolutely go there. The one thing with Colorado today is it is cool. Temps in the mid-50s. Winds are blowing in. So it's not going to be as good as normal for hitting. It is still Colorado. You still do have the elevation. So it will still let the ball travel a little bit more, but just not quite as good. Whereas Boston, we are also in a very hitter-friendly park. Temperatures in, I think, the mid-80s, the wind's blowing out, which is the reason why that game total is so much higher. Then you got James Paxton on the mound. Behind Paxton, the bullpen is meh. So I think St. Louis is in a really good spot. On the flip side, I really do like Boston in that spot. As we talked about, Wainwright, way worse on the road. And we have good hitting conditions. As you can see, there are some Boston stacks coming up towards the top of our projected, and they're going super low owned. Another one that's going low owned that's really interesting is the Diamondbacks. The pitcher they're facing just isn't that great. However, he does has a very low FIP over his last 20 and his last 5 starts. But with that, the ERA is huge. So not totally sure, but also that Cardinals bullpen behind him has been terrible. So I think there's a lot of different ways. Oh, sorry. Briba is no longer on the Cardinals. It is the Giants, which also has a terrible bullpen behind him. Briba is also probably only an opener going, a couple innings max, I think there. So I think you can go to the Diamondbacks. You can go to Philadelphia. Dodgers versus Snell. Snell is a good pitcher, but he can really have blow-up innings. He can walk a lot of guys. He can let a lot of batters on. And then it only takes a couple swings of the bat to really make him pay for that. So then I like Boston. Texas is really interesting. Texas against Waldichuk, who hasn't been a very good pitcher, a FIP of 6, 2.11 fantasy points per minute, plus that Oakland bullpen is terrible. So a lot of places to go there. Now, if we go to our value stacks, Washington is all over the place, which makes sense to me just because Tyler McGill hasn't been that good of a pitcher lately. Last 5 starts, a FIP of 6. So I think you can go there. However, I'm not so certain the Nationals have the upside, even in a small, let's say 2-3 man stack, to let you win a GPP. However, they are very cheap. So it does make sense. You would just need 2 guys to get a home run on that team, which is absolutely possible. Washington's pretty much all over that low owned or value side. Ceiling, we got Texas, we got Tampa Bay. Both are in okay spots. As we know, Tampa Bay did get to Cole last game. Can they do it again? Maybe. I think it's pretty hard to get to Cole twice and in a week on the same team. He is a competitor. Sure, he's done his homework to try and figure out how he can beat this team. So I don't know if I would expect that to happen twice in a week to Cole. Now let's flip the teams just to see if we're missing anything else here. I think you could go to the Giants. I don't absolutely love it though, but that Arizona bullpen's not that good, and Ryan Nelson allowing a lot of hard contact and high average exit velocity. Colorado, you can absolutely go to. Walker hasn't been that good of a pitcher. 5 FIP over his last 20, 5.8 over his last 5. Not really scared of that Philadelphia bullpen either. 4.63 FIP or ERA, 1.4 WHIP. So I definitely like Colorado as a lower owned. Baltimore, you can go there. Baltimore, there's some really nice weather there today. Milwaukee facing KC, bad bullpen, starting pitchers, meh. And then Dodgers. You can totally go to the Dodgers today. If Blake Snell has one of his blowout games, then you're good to go. So that'll do it today. That's a nice little rundown showing us what pitchers we like, some of the stacks we like. I wish you guys the best of luck today. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join us in the LineStar community so I can see you in that chat. Have a good one, guys. Thank you. See you next week.